Hey gang, just out here for my morning walk, and this morning I was writing about the topic of dyslexia, and I get a lot of students who come to me who have dyslexia, a lot of neurodiverse students, but obviously dyslexia is a big one. Up to 10% of secondary school students could have dyslexia, and for them there's a couple of different challenges. Visual stress is obviously huge. Comprehension is a big issue when you're reading, which is a big thing. Organization, and probably the biggest is retention. And a student that I was interviewing recently for my coaching program, he told me that he actually would delay studying because he found if he had a test coming up in, say, 2 weeks' time, what he found was if he studied now, he'd forget everything a week later. So he'd literally wait until, the night before the exam to study. And his parents thought, he was a procrastinator or he was lazy. But actually he wasn't any of those things. The problem is that he couldn't retain the information. And this reminded me of a student I worked with last year, and in the newsletter I was talking about this guy. His name is Michael. I gave him the name Magic Mike. It's literally because everything he learned, he turned it into magic. He was a magic student, easy to work with. He was open to learning. He was very what we call coachable. And what I found from working with Michael, we invented this game called Blankety Blank. I use it now in my coaching program. But this is literally where we take a set of notes and we would take copies of them. And then I just get him to blank out the keywords. Like just X, put a big mark through the keywords he was trying to memorize. So, for example, Martin Luther King was born in Atlanta. So we'd put a big through Atlanta. And then when he was studying it, he would go down through the notes and he'd have to remember or recall Atlanta. And I showed him what we call multisensory learning, showed him how his brain works, showed him how to memorize. We doubled his memory capacity. All memory is association. And Michael, Magic Mike, smashed it in the Leaving Cert. And he went from a student who was overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, and, could be panicking in a big set of exams. And he absolutely dominated. He did fantastic. I don't know what he got. I think 480 points or so. I know he got the points for his number one course in UCD. And I think he's studying business. It's either there or DCU. But anyway, he killed it, man. And I remember he said to me, it's like magic. Because in the exam, he was able to recall and retain all that information because he now had these tools, right? He had the tools, he had a method, he had a process. And, we really went to town. This really souped up his confidence, and that's what learning is. It's a confidence business. And I know from working with thousands of students that you can come out of this thing called a Leaving Cert scarred, or you can come out using it as a springboard to your future. And thank God for, in Mike's case, it became a springboard, and that's what we do. So anyway, we got it into the newsletter, sent that out this morning. Today is the 27th of December. I was debating whether to send out a, Happy New Year kind of vibe. And then I thought, but I'll put out a case study sort of newsletter thing and get great open rates. We have a good size list. Very excited going into next year with a lot of good stuff happening with Raise the Game. So yeah, that's my little update. That's my vlog. And now I'm going to take a walk, keep walking with this lady here. And we're going to smash it. Big night tonight, meeting my college buddies. and we're going to raise the game. Hasta pronto.